Happy Monday and welcome to HUSL Education. We are so excited to welcome Hayley Mears from 6 Underground Media for her HUSL Education series business webinar, and it's designed specifically for independent hairdressers and salon owners wanting to grow smarter online. And each month, Hayley shares practical salon-focused marketing strategies, and this session is all about utilizing UGC, user-generated content. So tap in, learn and grow with HUSL and Hayley Mears. Thanks, Hayley.
What an intro, Mommy. Thank you. Everyone, thanks so much for giving up your time. I really love jumping on these calls because everyone's really interactive. So please, as Mommy said, throw us any questions your way. And if I'm talking you through a concept, I think the best way for everyone to really grasp it is to throw out the examples of what that looks like. So if you can give me examples of how you might use that in your business, that's really valuable to me so that I can, use that example to share with everyone. I think this sits really beautifully after building a lot of layers of fundamentals within our class structure, especially as we kind of branch into the sales tool piece next time. Like, it's just that beautiful transition. I will kind of, Mommy, if you don't mind, there's a couple of times where I would love your input, just because I think there's such great opportunity when it comes to adding links to stories and repurposing user-generated content where we can actually make sales off it. So it's a little bit of a sales piece as well. So the user-generated content, this is basically how influencers make a living, right? They create content, whether it's paid or in lieu of services, or sometimes it's just their own content, and that content becomes a commodity of sorts. So the content is the value. You probably recall from previous classes, like my strategy when it comes to creating content has always been, what is the value that we're going to deliver by publishing this piece of content? This kind of flips it a little, because we've got someone else being, your brand evangelist or spokesperson, and they're going to talk about the value of you and your services. They're going to be somewhat of a portfolio, in the sense that if they are a client that has had a hair service and they post content for you to share, it's such a great tool for you to be able to say, this is an online review and an online portfolio of my work, all wrapped up into one. I haven't taken any time to produce it, but I get to share it with you. So I think knowing that there is so much value in that user-generated content, what we need to think about is, how do we encourage our clients to do that for us? The most simple way that we can encourage user-generated content is to actually just talk about it with them in the chair. I remember when Instagram kind of became, our key marketing tool, I would throw back to probably 6 or so years ago. One of the first strategies that I would implement with any business that I worked in when it came to looking after their socials for them was, firstly, can I activate all of the people in your salon chair to like and engage with your Instagram page while they're having their appointment? And then secondly, what can I get them to post about their appointment during their appointment? So mirror decals was kind of like that entryway into prompting that. A lot of the time it would just be a specific hashtag. So one of the salons, it was just hashtag Suki selfie. So anytime someone was in the chair taking a selfie of themselves, if they use that hashtag, we would be able to search it, find it, and repost it. There were a couple of things on that. Number one, it was tricky if their account was private and we weren't following each other, because we weren't able to share that content. The second piece around that is, it's a more difficult strategy to execute now, because our search tools and our search algorithms don't really need hashtags to be able to make it searchable anymore. So it's going to be about the caption that they write when they post about you, as opposed to the actual hashtag. We want to turn your customers into like a salespeople that go out and talk about your services and what it is that you offer your point of difference. So that means that every customer or client that comes in that's going to post about their hair, they have to have had an absolutely ideal client experience. Because the flip side, as you would all know, because everyone has had a psycho person with a Google review, right? Like everyone has them. They come once every 4 years at the end of the year and literally on a full moon. And I'm not making that up. That is absolutely the cycle. And they will leave the most nastiest Google review under a fake name for no reason. So we've just got to be careful that when we're dealing with this kind of space, we are opening it up to absolutely everyone. It's a free-for-all. We need to build a foundation so that the kind of work that you want showcased is the work that's actually being published. And again, it's just a conversation in the chair. You're going to have the best success at converting user-generated content in a very specific demographic. And I would say that demographic is probably 15 to 35. I feel like that is your sweet spot for people that are very happy to kind of showcase the selfies and promote themselves in that way. Your older end of the market probably just don't have that same social experience. Like they're not publicly posting about themselves as often. However, they're just not that selfie kind of clients. They're still out there having their photos taken. They're being uploaded. They're just not the selfie style. So it's usually them and a family member or a friend. So when it comes to that conversation piece with your clients, especially when you've finished the hair, it's as easy as saying, if you happen to be in the car and the lighting is really, really good, I would love you to take a selfie and tag me or collaborate with me. Like everyone needs to see how amazing you look. If not, please, if there's any pictures you're happy for us to share, send them to our DMs. Just open the conversation and straight away you'll be able to read the body language of who's going to be your brand evangelist and who's happy to do that and who's not. When I was teaching in a co-working space recently, a lot of the feedback I got from the attendees was that they have a series of clients, and again, it's that under 35, and if they don't get their photo taken at the end of the appointment, they're really offended. So there's this expectation of I'm going to the hairdressers and they're going to want to take a photo of my hair for content. So when they haven't been asked, they kind of second guess and think something's a little bit wrong. Doesn't my hair look good? Have I not got enough makeup on? So it's very much become a very normal part of a salon service in some demographics, which is why we need to feel really comfortable utilizing it. This is actually such a cool tool. This is something that you could use for user-generated content. I spoke to someone at Hair Festival that told me about this. It gets used in yoga studios and fitness studios for video testimonials. You can buy them or hire them. So if you're ever having an event, I just want to flag this particular tool. So as you can see, it's like a touchpad screen, and you can, and although my screenshot's not particularly clear, you can leave a voice message, a video message, and then you add your social media handle to it. That just curates and collects a whole heap of video testimonials, audio testimonials that can be referred and repurposed. And I just think this is the most amazing thing ever to actually capture that content. I don't think that it's going to be something every salon needs to have, but I do think there would be a space for it if you were having an event or at an education facility. I think that just goes to show how much user-generated content is such a big part of people's marketing campaigns, because they need that as the authority of this is the quality of my services, just like a whole list of reviews. And in judging the HIAs, one of the things that I will notice is how many salons deliver me a heap of examples of user-generated content and testimonials and reviews. And that always actually speaks to the credibility of the service. This is what it looks like. A really cool appliance piece. That's going to make sense now, okay? Okay, so in terms of building your customers and making them your best sales team, I don't think there's anything more to it than, as I've said, communicating with them in the chair. How to really maximize that. Marmy, do you want to speak to when you actually receive the content from the client, when you get the tag or when they send you the DM, how do you use that as a tool to convert a sale, especially in that retail space?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, depending obviously what type of image that they forward to you, you know, if they mention something like, look how shiny my hair is after I've just visited so-and-so, and you know what product that you used on that client, that is your way of generating your HUSL dropship link of that exact product that you used. And then you obviously reshare it as a story, and then you just add that link sticker of that exact product. So your followers can just simply tap on that link sticker and the product is already in a cart. All they need to do is tap on checkout. Also, like if your client, if it's just a general kind of like, look how amazing my hair looks, look at the cut, look at the color, like it's amazing. This is where, again, you can do the same thing. You can add your link sticker of your booking link from HUSL so that your followers can then book with you. Yeah.
What I like about that is I would create 3 pieces there, because what's interesting about retail sales at the moment, and I've just spent the last 3 or 4 days going pretty deep into our industry data on that. Our retail sales are the lowest that they have ever been. Now, I don't think that's because clients aren't buying. I think it's because there is a wider market that has availability to buy, whereas, you know, us professional salons are definitely up against it because of, you know, larger consumer organizations. So what that means is when it comes to promoting them, we need to sell a range, like a holistic package, or grouping your products together is a better sales strategy than just recommending one. So in that situation, if you had 3 different user-generated images, I would do, this is the shampoo that you need to use for this particular hair type. This is the finishing product. And we always use this treatment once a week. I would do a series of 3 with a link to each different product in every slide.
Another thing that you can do, so yeah, what Hayley mentioned is fantastic. Yep, you've got your single kind of product links, because if somebody is looking for a shampoo, they can tap on that shampoo link. Somebody's looking for a treatment, they can tap on that treatment link. However, if you're wanting to create that holistic kind of package, a shampoo, conditioner, and a treatment, you can create that one link with the multiple products as well. So those multiple products are in a cart. So all they need to do is tap on that one link, and then those specific products you've chosen are already in a cart, tap on checkout. So absolutely, there's that option as well with HUSL.
Okay, I really like that. So I would then say I'd split that into 4. I'd do individual, and then I'd do the 4th one, the holistic, like full brand package. I would have said previously that, you know, there'd be keywords to use and hashtags. I think it's just a matter of using really clear communication when it is that you are either doing a voiceover or sharing the content from your clients around that. Okay, how often do people get clients actually posting content in the salon that is from their client experience?
Not very much, but I'm a trader by myself, so
okay,
long-time clients.
And do you think because you've got like heritage clients that they're just kind of...
I just think I don't ask because I'm busy, too busy, and they see it at the door. I don't take that. Sometimes I do if it's a transformation, but if it's a regular touch-up every 6 weeks, we just don't do that often. However, there's some really social media people that will just do it anyway. They'll take a photo of their coffee or them having their hair done.
Yeah.
Selfie, and they just naturally love content and stories and stuff.
Yep. I mean, one of the things that I have done with clients I've worked with in the past that just have not had user-generated content is I've gone through and I've looked at their followers and I've made sure that they're highly engaged followers, and I've said, I've sent them a DM. This picture of your hair is absolutely beautiful. We loved looking after you. Let us know if it'd be okay to share. We'd love to share the formula of the color that we used. Because you get to pick the best images from their collection rather than just whatever they're willing to give you. So I think that's a great tool. Look, one of the things that does come up when it comes to user-generated content is people's right to privacy, whether they want their content shared or not. I don't think it's anywhere near as precarious as it used to be. For the most part, people are going to tell you if they're not okay with it. If it's like, can I get a picture of your hair? Straight away, if they're not comfortable, they're going to be like, I don't want my photo taken. Or they're going to be say, yeah, that's fine. Is it just going to be the back? We also know that actually some of the best hair shots that we get are that chin dip with all of the hair over the face so that we can see the wider scope of the color anyway. So I think there's a lot of workarounds. The thing to avoid in that space is posting a lot of the same, because it just absolutely kills your feed and your algorithm. So creating as much variation as you can in terms of, I think mainly with color. It's really easy to showcase a lot of blondes. It's a little bit harder to, showcase reds and brunettes. Using the best cinematic settings on your phone when you're capturing the content, I find it makes a huge difference. I've upgraded to an iPhone 17 Pro. The camera is absolutely phenomenal, but I think that as long as you are really good with the settings and you're using everything exactly how it's meant to be and your lighting is key, that's what's going to give you the best in-salon shots that you can repurpose as user-generated content. The most valuable piece is that collaborator tool. When you've got a client that posts from their account and tags you as a collaborator, the fact that everyone in their feed is going to, have access to one click away to your business, there's a monetary value to that, I think, especially when I look at what influencers get paid. So if you can encourage your clients, I would love you to upload it and make me a collaborator. That is so much better than you uploading it and tagging them as a collaborator. A couple of reasons. You've got a business account. They've probably got a personal account. Personal accounts do get better organic reach when it comes to those type of publishing tools because there's no business incentive. Whereas I find Meta knows who is a business and they know that you have to pay for your reach. It's very different from a consumer perspective.
Sorry, Liz, you have a question for Hayley?
I've just noticed since joining HUSL and getting a link tree, I've had so many more views and access and insights and analytics. So it's been pretty cool.
How good are the link tree analytics?
Well, I sucked at doing it for a while and then I actually physically got in there. And I've just come off 2 mat leaves and I'm finally not having any more kids. So I really want to dive into it. But I was so flaky for so long having the 2 kids, and I finally got the link tree. And yeah, it's nice. It's all in one. Clients think it looks so professional, and it's been good.
Okay, so would we all agree that we have an untapped market in our customers actually, firstly, creating content, but using their content as both a review, a portfolio, and a recommendation? Once they've published it, repurpose. And if it's a story, obviously you can share that story, but I also like to take a screenshot because if that can be reused in a really clever way when you've got, say, 5 or 6 of them from different clients, and you can create a carousel that has, look at all of the feedback from these different clients. There's just so many different ways that you can repurpose that content. Content is something that probably takes up our largest admin portion, in marketing for sure, but even as a business as a whole. So if there's anything you can do to maximize that with the minimal output, obviously I'm all here for it. Marmy, your tip on adding that link, especially whether it be a link to book, but yeah, a very, very clever strategy. Do you want super shiny hair or without like talking about the product, without the product having to actually, you know, be the focus of the content. Don't forget to check that everyone, when you're asking for this user-generated content, that they have their settings set open for sharing. Because sometimes they might have a private account or they can have private or public, but they still need to have the sharing settings available.
That's definitely something that we tend to forget, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and I think a lot of the times the clients don't realise like that their story settings are that they can post and they think it's public, but they can't be shared.
And there's nothing worse when you ask a client, they go, yes, no worries, and then you try and then it doesn't happen, and then you have to reach out again, and then it's just this to and fro. So
like you said with posting, I think it's like finding a solution to a problem, not necessarily posting a product. So like you said, like, you know, dry hair, blah, blah, here's what we use here, you know.
Yeah. Also worth just a consideration, if you can have an Instagram story highlight where you can save all of that user generated content into a nice little package or a folder so that it's all in that one place. People coming along to your Instagram and they can kind of tap through and see all of those referrals and recommendations.
with all of Hayley's PDF presentations, I've actually decided to add it into the marketing images for stylists folder, which is in our link tree. So to access HUSL's link tree, just head to our HUSL Instagram. You'll see that as the first external link. That's our link tree. Scroll a little bit down. You'll see marketing images and you'll see Hayley's presentations in there. So you'll be able to catch those first few slides that myself, it's not Hayley's fault. I should have actually
my fault, actually.
said something. Yeah, it was a really great webinar. It's like I said before, we haven't had a webinar like this where it's about thinking outside the box and not just always relying on yourself to put up that content. You've got this fantastic content, and if anything, it speaks a lot more, you know, it's huge word of mouth to be able to share that with somebody that's come to you and is absolutely loving themselves afterwards. And then obviously linking it for a way for you to then capitalize on that and then earn some extra revenue from that content you've shared by selling dropship products that you don't stock, which is cool. So if you're not sure how to dropship, of course, please tap on Get Help in the app. Most of you, I do remember you do reach out quite well, but please, no question is silly. If you need extra tips and tricks, if you don't know what Linktree is, Liz knows, and she's just mentioned that as soon as she started Linktree, it really did open it up to more opportunity of extra revenue. So please tap on Get Help in the app. And Hayley, yeah, fantastic again. I will add Hayley's presentation into that folder. If you can't find it, again, tap on Get Help and I'll let you know where that is. Now, Hayley's next webinar is at the end of this month. This month is a long month. It's on
tail.
Monday, the 31st of August, same time, 1:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. And what I'm going to do is as soon as, I'm going to add it here in the chat box. However, if you don't catch it in time, don't worry. I will SMS you the sign-up form to the next webinar, which is called Social Media as a Sales Tool. So just quickly, Hayley, what's this one going to be a little bit about?
It's revenue generation. And so a lot of this is going to be very specific to how HUSL can exist, not just in socials, but like there's a lot of different ways in your business that you can increase your revenue. And it's the best way to use marketing to do that. So interesting, because there's a lot of different AI advancements that will probably come into play within the next 3 to 4 weeks around that. So if anyone has questions or suggestions of what they would like covered in that session, please let me know so I can make sure that all of that information is in there.
Yep, amazing. So thanks again, everybody, for putting time aside today, and have a fantastic week, and we'll see you on the 31st of August, and make sure to sign up.
Thanks, guys.
See everybody. Bye.